Nice.
Stay away. Maggie is dead.
How was your day, Shal?
Hi everyone, here's my interview for CinemaWorld Asia for Clean Sweep. You're asking why is it why done it rather than who done it? Why was such a creative storytelling direction taken? That's really a question for Gary, the writer. I don't know quite what inspired him to write why done it rather than a who done it, but I know he was very inspired by real life, as he called it, soccer moms who committed crimes. I mean, there's quite a plethora of, whodunits out there, and I think a why done it has a much more intriguing psychological aspect to it. So I can't really speak to him, but I would imagine that is why that storytelling direction was taken, but that really is a question for Gary. What was the biggest challenge when telling a story like this? I think for me, I can only speak for myself, to make her, because when it's upfront, who did it, and you want to get into the psychology of why they did it. For me, it was about making Shelley very real and I wanted the audience to feel like they were in her shoes and what would they do in her shoes, and to understand where she was coming from and why she did this, to have it very rooted in reality and to set up that world of conflict, inner conflict, to do anything to protect your family and to get people to understand that was my biggest challenge. Playing a character like Shelley Mahone was constantly on the edge is definitely challenging. Yeah. I believe the job is made harder when you are also a first-time executive producer on this project. How did I juggle both roles simultaneously? And has being an executive producer changed your perspective as an actor? It was a lot of extra work, juggling both roles, but I was, my main mission in being an executive producer on this was to make sure that I had some creative say in the rooms and have more of an input in that area, so as that I felt more deeply entrenched in the project across the board, which is kind of what happened. And it was a very tight shooting schedule, so it was just a lot of work. So I just kind of worked day and night basically for the whole shoot. Listen, there was much more hands-on producers, obviously, and executive producers, because there's only so much I could do with shooting pretty much every scene every day and things like that. So, but of course, yes, your perspective as an actor, you kind of divide and conquer. So when my acting hat was on, that's what I was doing. And then when I'd go home in the evening, I'd kind of put more of a executive-y producer head on in terms of writing emails to the writer or dealing with, emailing other people about things about the next day and things like that. So yes, you're not fully switching off as much. Character in Peaky Blinders, Captain Swing's ruthless, cutthroat antagonist who forms an uneasy alliance with Tommy Shelby. He sure does. Similarly, Shelley Mahone in Clean Sweep is a murderer in plain sight. What draws you to playing such complex antagonistic characters? I mean, it's right there in the question. Who doesn't want to play complex antagonistic characters? It's so interesting. It's so much fun to play, to pick apart, to analyze, to get inside their brain. Where are they coming from? I mean, it's absolutely fascinating to me to play people that are morally complex, psychologically complex, and to get under their skin and find out where they're coming from and to try and understand them, even though you mightn't agree with them, and I completely don't agree with them, but to put that to one side and to get into who they are, I find endlessly satisfying and interesting. So to me, it's a complete no-brainer. And what do you look for in the characters that you play? That I look for depth or humor, or there's no one person in this entire world is two-dimensional. Even if they're seemingly dull on the surface, there's something inside them that has rendered them dull to the outside world, that if you get under their skin, you'll find that I think every human is far from one-dimensional or dull, or so I look for that. I look for what's under their skin, because I find it really interesting. If there is a season 2 of Clean Sweep, what would you like for the season to explore? It's hard to answer this question without giving spoilers from season 1, so I have to tread very carefully here. Well, I would like to see what happens to her, what happens to their family. Clean Sweep is very much a show about, love and heart and family and what happens when that's ripped apart. So I would like to see the fallout. What happens? How does she cope? Where do they go? What's the resolution? Is there a resolution? I'm sure it's all in Gary's head, the writer, so I would be very excited for a season 2. Clean Sweep is making its Asian premiere exclusively in CinemaWorld this January. Convince our audience in Asia to watch Clean Sweep in 5 words. Ooh, drama, heart, sex, intrigue, explosion. Explosion, I mean of explosive family dynamics. What film or series are you binge watching at the moment? I'm not binging it because it's weekly, but I'm really enjoying The Curse at the minute with Emma Stone, who I think is an incredible actress. Incredible actress. So that's what I'm really enjoying at the moment. Is there a character role that you would wish to attempt in the future and why? Oh my God. I mean, tons and tons and tons. That's put me on the spot that I wish to attempt in the future and why. Just so many. I would love to play a broad range of roles, funny, to drama, to just good storytelling, good characters. I don't have something in particular in mind. It could be a cowgirl in Kansas. It could be someone like Shelley Mohan, suburban, seemingly normal housewife. Just characters who have a lot going on and who are very interesting to me. Why? Because, as I said earlier, because that's what floats my boat. So thank you for having me, and I really hope CinemaWorld Asia enjoys Clean Sweep as much as we enjoyed making it, and goodbye.